Alright, so we're going to basically draw this toggle clamp, the first part of the toggle clamp. This toggle clamp arm we're going to draw first. So we're going to draw half of this side view and make it extra tall and extra deep in extrusion. So basically just think about half this, and it's a little tricky. So you can draw it is 0.026 thick, so half of that would be 0.13. So this little arm here is 0.13 right here thick. Then you go up 0.12, and the inside goes up 0.109. So you need to probably draw half of it and then just offset it. So I'll probably go up 0.109, offset 0.13. Let's just take it from there and see where we go. So start 2D sketch, XY plane, line. Let's go, I guess, start up from the origin and go up. And 1.09. Okay. And then a little trick I'll show you. So if you hover over, and don't hover too long, but if you hover over the end point of that and put down on it, you can draw an arc tangent to it, okay? So if I hover over that and grab it, it's kind of tricky, and then pull on it, I can grab an arc that's tangent to it, okay? So I'm not going to give it a dimension. I'm just going to freehand it there, okay? And now I'm going to see if I can do the same thing going the other way. There we go, something like that. Okay. And I'll throw some dimensions on it in a minute. And then I'll probably put it up, just put it way the heck up there nice and straight like that at, I don't know, how tall is this thing? I don't know, put up there 6. That way we know it's plenty tall. Okay. And then to finish that. Okay, in case you can't get that to work, because that can be pretty tricky, you can just do it with arcs too. So it's no big deal. Draw the line, pick an arc, make sure you're on that point, draw yourself an arc, draw yourself another arc, draw yourself a line on top of that. Make sure you're always getting the green dot. Make sure it's always straight vertical. I should have made that 6 inches long. Alright, I'm going to throw a dimension on there to make that 6 inches long. Dimension it. Hopefully it doesn't blow up when I make it 6. It didn't. Good. Okay, and then just make all these tangents. So, of course, that's in constraint. Use a tangent. Not if you do it if you did the other way, it automatically tangented them for you. But if you want to do it the old-fashioned way, that'll tangent it this way too. They both work. So either way, you're good. Okay, so we've got that drawn. That is basically the inside of this without any dimensions on it. So it says 0.13 typical. So we need to dimension those arcs. So throw a dimension on those arcs at 0.13. And really this one, there's kind of a little error in this thing. So an inside bend like this one should be 0.13, but the outside bend should really be double that when you're bending steel. So since we're doing a video on this, go ahead and make it 0.26 because it'll work better. So this one here would be 0.13. Okay, 0.13 like that. That's the inside bend. And the outside bend of the metal, which this would be considered the outside bend of the metal, is going to be 0.26. And I think it'll work better if we do that. Okay. Alright, now what we want to do, once you get that done, it's not fully constrained. Why not? Okay, this thing has not got a location. That's probably why. Let me check it here. I'm going to dimension that to the origin and call it 0. Yeah, okay, so that center point of the second arc, if dimension that to the origin and call it 0, you could also basically do the vertical constraint on that, would have done the same thing. Okay, for instance, so the other option would be the vertical constraint. I wasn't positive that was the problem, but it is. So vertically constrained, it does the same thing. Okay, so we've got that drawn now. Now we should be able to offset that half this distance, which is 0.13, and then we have that leg done. Okay, that thing can actually be a little tricky. So now we want to offset that, which is right here. Grab this, move it this way until 0.13. Okay. Alright, and then close off the top and close off the bottom with a line between the two. Like that. And like that. So now we've got a continuous loop. Make sure your green dot. Alright. Okay, at that point I think we're ready to finish that sketch. Okay. Okay, so we want to extrude this thing a little bit extra so we can draw this on the face of it. So I'm going to right click, extrude. There's only one sketch, so it found it. I don't know, 8 inches, just make it plenty. Hit OK. So hopefully you can kind of see it now. It's kind of half of this thing, right? Just a face, and we're drawing that face. Now look how it's shaped. Make sure you're drawing on the right face. You don't want to draw on the back side of it. Might still work actually if you did it right, but so we want to draw on this shape on this face. Okay, so make sure you're drawing on this face. So right click, hover over that, new sketch on that face right there. Okay, well, a new sketch on that face right there, and it theoretically would work that way, but you have to go both directions. This way we can just go straight through it. And of course the origin looked like it moved back. Yay. So we're going to start from this end and go that way. And we got plenty of room, so as long as our bottom is the same, it really doesn't matter. We'll just throw a dimension on there to hold it. So let's start over, I guess, here on the right. And this is a detail blow up here. So that down a little bit. It says it's 0.28 diameter on that one, 0.2. That's a radius. Okay, so we need to make a circle that's 0.28, and then we'll start moving ourselves that way. Okay, so watch me do a circle with a radius. It's a little difficult with Inventor. So I'm going to pick right there on circle like we always do. Okay, I'm just going to hover over here anywhere. I'll clean it up here in a second. Okay, so I'm going to put right there and give it. It's giving me a diameter. So you can actually put the double that in there, which would be 0.56, or you can right click and pick radius if you want. Okay, if you want to save some math, 0.28. Okay, but by default in Inventor's world, of course, circles are diameters. All right, now let's tangent this thing to the bottom and the side. Okay, so constrain, tangent, grab your circle, grab the side, grab your circle, grab the side. Okay, now it's locked down in the corner where we want it. At this point, you could probably draw another circle in there. It's pretty good about knowing circles that are inside circles are cut through, so we can probably draw that pretty safely. And that one's got a diameter of 0.26. Okay, you might have to, is it still on radius? Yeah, it's still on radius after you told it, so you need to right click, change it back to diameter, and then type in 0.26. Okay, now that other one was dimensioned as a radius because it's half a circle. The standard in industry is if it's basically less than a 180 degree arc, you dimension it with a radius. And most people, if it's an arc, even if it's over 180, will dimension it with a radius. Okay, and circles are dimensioned with diameter. All right, so now we got to draw this other one. So I just freehand put it over there, and later on we can tell it's 0.8 away, and it is the same exact diameters. So we can might be able to just copy them. Let's see here. Where's copy? There's copy. Let's do that. We don't copy very often. Hit copy. Pick our two objects. Okay. Pick our base point. This is kind of like AutoCAD. Pick the center of it. Move it over here. Try to go straight. And just put it as like right there and call it good. Escape. Now you're probably going to throw a dimension on it, 0.8 apart. Okay, I was wondering why this one turned green all of a sudden, because it shouldn't have. I think it's my graphics card. Okay, and the last thing you gotta do is tell that the center points are horizontal. Well, that's why this one's still, because it doesn't know that it's got to be tangent to that one. All right, so tell it it's horizontally constrained to center points, and that locks them all down. Okay, since we're having so much fun drawing circles, we're just going to keep drawing circles, and we'll make tangent lines at the correct angles to the rest of it. Okay, so let's just draw this circle up here approximately in the right place. Notice it's after the bend, right? See how this circle's after the bend? That one is too. So you need a 1 inch circle up here, and then below it draw yourself a 1/2 inch circle. And as long as they're close to the right spot, just try to basically emulate a circle right here and a circle right here, okay? So we're going to pick circle, and of course they're both radiuses again, so I'm going to right click and switch over to radius. Well, I guess I got to pick a point first, sorry. So I'm going to do the top one first, so I don't know, somewhere up there, don't really matter where. Right click. Again, I could do the math in my head. It's too late in the afternoon though. So 1 on that one. Alright, draw another circle, and this one's somewhere down below it. Make sure you don't pick on top of the circle or anything like that, just somewhere in space. Okay, and this one is also a radius, and it is 0.5. Okay, and then we might as well draw this one over here somewhere too, and it's 0.32 radius. Okay, so another circle just somewhere over here in La La Land, 0.32. Okay, so now I've got all the circles. Now you just got to be very careful. Oh, there's another one here too. There's a 0.13 one there. And it's 0.77 apart. Okay, how do I do all that? Draw that. Okay, draw tangent from there to there. Draw tangent. Draw line. Tangent to that one. Cross that one. And we got that angle. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Alright, so let's draw this one first because it's easy. Okay, so it looks like it's on the top of this circle to the outside of that one. So very carefully pick a line, and we want to be on the top of this one, not on the quadrant or anything, just somewhere over here, and doesn't really matter where. Okay, and get onto this one. Make sure you're just touching it. And this one did go tangent. Mine went tangent there too. If it didn't go tangent, of course you can always pick the tangent constraint and force it. But notice mine popped up the tangent, so I know it is. Okay, and then next one that's probably easy is from this circle to this circle. Alright, so might as well draw another line there. I'll pick from there to on top of this one. Try to go, and that's not going to go tangent. That was tangent there for a second. It's trying to, but it's not playing nicely. I got that one. This one's not, so I'm going to force it with a tangent. There we go. Now all those are tangents. So I basically drew this bottom of this thing now. It's not the correct angle, but it is there at least. I do know this is 116 degrees, so I can go ahead and force that now. Okay. Hopefully it won't blow up too bad. So I'm going to go over here to dimension and tell it from this line to the bottom here, which is the same as this one, is 116. Okay, so that line is locked down at least. I know that this line to this line is 128, so I can go ahead and put a 128 on those two. Amazing how close that was by freehanding it. Okay. Now I can basically do some, I can probably trim this off and throw a few dimensions on it. So I'm just slowly working my way through it. There's trim. I'm going to trim that off, and that off, and that off. So I've basically got my bottom line here, okay? And I can tell the distances. This distance is 1.7. I can do that one at least. So dimension here. And if you get a vertical dimension like that, you want to right click and change it to aligned. Okay? Like that. And then that is going to be 1.7, as it shows right here. Okay? So it's getting closer. Okay, so we got most of this. Couple little steps left here. Let's just see if we can make it work. So So I'm going to draw a line from here to here. Okay, and then I'm going to draw another one from here down to... It's definitely not tangent to that, so just somewhere over here. Okay, alright. And now I'm going to draw another line straight across from this one to that one, because they are straight across. Now I'm going to go ahead and go on a quadrant here, because I know that'll be tangent to the quadrant here. Alright, there. Now this one here I'm going to just do with a fillet, okay, between these two. So I'm going to pick fillet. If I can find it. And the fillet is 0.13. Okay, and I probably could have done more of these with a fillet too, but it's not letting me because that one's connected there. I shouldn't have connected it. So basically I'm going to delete that one and not connect it to there. Just go most of the way horizontal, close enough. Now I'm going to fillet it. It should work fine. Hopefully it did remember 0.13. Okay, so that cleaned that up a little bit. These two are parallel, so I'll go ahead and make them parallel with the constraint. There's equal, we don't want that. There's parallel. Okay, these two are parallel. It might blow up, might have to back up here. It doesn't want to do it. Okay, so I'm going to drag this around until it looks a little closer. Something is very broke on there, so delete that one off. Drag that closer to right. There. Re-add this one back on. So play that game. Basically, tangent again, tangent. There we go. Now these two need to be parallel. Trim that off and we're probably done. Sure you're picking parallel and not equal. I keep almost doing it. Okay, we're missing a dimension or two. So 2.7 is the length of this line. Make sure that's an aligned dimension again. So you need to go with aligned. 2.7. Why did it break so bad? And this needs to be on the end of that, but it didn't force that to happen. I think I can fix that with the coincident constraint. Let's see here, so I'm going to pick that circle and then this endpoint. There we go. So that's the coincident constraint. I'm still missing a dimension somewhere. There's my 0.64. I don't think well, that should take care of that when I made those parallel on that one. This one is also 0.64. Okay, so I want to put 0.64 on that. So dimension from here to here is 0.64, and hopefully that'll take care of it. There we go. Alright, now I'm ready to trim up and done. Trim. So that one's a pretty tough one, to say the least. And there's other ways to do it. I mean, you can use fillets, probably here and just add angles later. There's several possibilities. You got to trim this up too. Trim that up. And it's still not finished here, it says. Why is that? Must not realize these are tangent. I'm going to try to throw a tangent on there. See if that fixes it. Yep. Alright, so I had to throw a tangent on there to fix that. And a lot of that just takes tons of practice to figure out what it's probably looking for. Alright, once you get that done, you're ready to extrude it after you finish the sketch. I'll finish the sketch in a second. Okay, so this is 0.64 up here, but it's not 0.64 down here. This damn thing's complicated, right? So there's 0.77 on the bottom half. Just kind of noticed I missed that dimension. So this one needs to be 0.77. There we go. It still stayed fully constrained, luckily. Everything else looks good. Yeah, this is 0.64 up here, but that circle force, or this radius here, forces that to be 0.64. Okay, because they're all tangent. Okay, once you get it fully constrained and everything's on there, finish your sketch. Right click, extrude. You want to switch it over to intersect. Okay, and pick inside there and hit OK. Alright, then you can see half of it. Then you want to mirror half of it about itself. Okay, so we go over here to mirror. Of course, pick the object. Probably easiest way on this one might be to go over here and pick the solid body. Like it won't let you do that. Alright, so we're going to pick this one and hold down the control key, and oh, it's not letting me do that either. Try again. Mirror. It might do it if we just try it. Now mirror plane. Spin around. Pick on this plane right here. Hit OK. See what happens. It didn't work. Let's try to mirror the other one. It's not letting me pick that feature. There we go. So here if we pick the mirror solids button, it actually did pick it. Okay. And mirror plane, make sure you pick the mirror solids button, and that'll do them all. And then the mirror plane would be that one, and then hit OK. Alright, now I've got it on here. The last part of this one is you need to draw this little rivet holder inside there. So all that is a circle on the inside of that extruded, two circles extruded out. And I think there's just one on the inside here, okay? So basically we want to draw two circles inside here and extrude them through. And you can really draw them about anywhere. It says the diameter is 0.38. So as long as they're going all the way through it, it's fine. So I'm going to draw it on this face because it's easier. New sketch. And we want to project this circle first and then draw one on the center line of that. So project geometry, project it on that little circle. And then just draw a new circle that's 0.38 diameter. Okay, and mine's still on radius, so I'm going to switch it back to diameter like it should be anyway by right clicking. And 0.38. Okay, now we got those two. Now I just extrude those through all. So finish cut or finish sketch, right click, extrude. Make sure you pick on that band there, okay? And switch directions. And for the distance all, and hit OK. Okay. Oops, wrong one. I think it cut when I switched directions. Try again. Extrude. There. Okay. And switch directions. Make sure it's on join. And all. And hit OK. Alright. There you should have it. That part should be done. So let's save it before we have any more trouble with it. Save. Okay, so this part's finished. Probably want to change the material on it. Okay, so instead of generic, make it whatever you want so it looks good. Make it aluminum. Whatever you want to make it, okay? I'm making mine aluminum. And then save it. Alright, that part's finished. Okay, so let's go to the next one and at least get started on it. So the next one, this one here, let's go through these a little bit in case I don't get a full video on them. Okay, this is just a pin. So that's just a few circles extruded and a chamfer on the end of it. Nothing fancy there. Okay. This one here is just a rod, and you'll draw the circle to cut through there on the center plane and extrude it both directions to cut that hole out of it, okay? And then you'll put a point on the end of this one and do basically a tap in it with a hole tool, okay? The hole tool does that, okay, for the tap. Like I said, this is just a hole drawn on the center plane, extruded through both directions. We'll cut that out, okay? And then it's got chamfers again, okay? This one's just circles extruded again, so it's pretty easy. This link is just kind of like we did the other one, alright? So you just basically draw a line 1/2 inch over, put a little curve on it, put another curve on it. Now this curve doesn't do a full 90, again it just goes halfway up, and then another curve. One of them's got 0.13 on the inside, and then on the outside bend like this one would be 0.26. Okay. You can draw to the middle of this if you want and mirror it over, or however way, and then just fill it the outside for this outside ring after the whole thing is done. Okay, so that's that one. We'll probably, this one really isn't too bad. You just got to try to draw it from the bottom up. Okay, so you're going to draw this bottom part first, put the holes in it. Okay, make sure they're all in the right place and fully constrained, and then draw maybe this next part on it. And you can draw it all the way across because it's going to take over it anyway, this little part here, and then draw this next part. Now just ignore this radius up here. You can do that last radius up there with a fillet. So just, you can just draw it all the way up if you want. It would be 0.69 from the bottom all the way up to here, plus 0.28 for the radius if you do the fillet last. Or you can just draw the side profile and extrude both directions. Either way works. This one here is a little tougher. Okay, that's why I was going through those kind of fast. So this part is actually 0.99 wide, okay, and on the bottom, and you extrude it up 1.2, but you got to notice it has a taper to it. Okay, it's got a 5-degree taper, and that's a more when you do that. When you extrude something, there's an option for more, and you want to add that taper to it. Okay. Let's see, which one should we try to tackle? We probably got time for this link, so let's do that. Okay, this is just called toggle clamp link. So let's start a new one. File. Already just pick new part. File, new part. Okay, probably going to go ahead and save this toggle clamp link right off the bat. So let's save that as toggle clamp link. Okay, save. And let's try to draw this thing. So it's a 1/2 inch over from here to here, and then we'll start drawing radiuses. Okay. So 2D sketch, XY plane. I'll pick a line. And I'm going to start on the beginning there and hold it horizontal and type in 0.5. Okay. And now I'm going to try to do my fancy radiuses again. Hopefully you can get to work. You hold down on, pick that beginning button right there and hold down on it and start moving your mouse in the upward direction till you get an arc about like that. I don't know, to 45 degrees. Now I'm going to do the same thing to go back. I'm not dimensioning these, I'll dimension them later. So I'm going to try to go back like this. Okay, and if you don't get those to work, just draw it with arcs and tangent them. That'll work as well. Okay. So I'm going to go like that, and now I'm going to just draw me a straight line. Okay, and the total distance of this is 1.5 plus, let's see here, does it even tell you? 1.5, and let's see here. That is 0.25 radius on there, and they got the same center point. So it is 0.25 past 1.5 on both sides, so it's 2.25 or 2 inches total wide. 1.5 plus 2 of these, so 1 inch over total. And I don't know how far those are going to go, so I'm just going to give it a length right here, and I'll make it longer later. Give it a total length of 2 inches. Okay, so now we can add those dimensions. So the inside, this would be an inside radius, right? Oh, that'd be an this is an inside. That's an outside. Okay, so we added the dimension. Okay, so this dimension right here is an outside. It'd be 0.26 because it's on the outside. We're drawing this bottom half is what we're drawing here. 0.26. Okay, and then the inside here would be 0.13 because that's an inside. Okay. And then the height up there for that one is 0.13 tall from top to bottom. So we can go ahead and do that dimension. From here to here is 0.13. Okay. What am I missing here? I got that. Probably the center point doesn't know it's on that. So let's make the center point horizontal with that line. Or with the origin maybe. Missed it. There we go. That fully constrained it. Okay. Alright, so try to get that little part of it done. So 1, 3, 2, 6, all tangent and not on the length here. Now to kind of finish, need to offset this, also 0.13, okay? Okay. Then I would connect these and mirror them across. Okay. That. And then make a mirror line right here. Sure it's horizontal. Finish sketch. Oops, back. I messed that up. Go back in the sketch. I got to mirror this across. That mirror line. And then tell it the overall length is 0.2 or 2 inches. Hopefully that'll take care of it. I don't know if it's going to or not. Looks a little fishy here. There we go. That did fully constrain it. Okay, one of the students dimensioned this from here to here is 1 before he mirrored it. That's probably a good idea. I like that. Also, I noticed my ½ inch was in the wrong spot. So if you look at this closely, it looks like it's the second little bend, so it's probably right here on this point. It should have been ½ inch. So I'm going to delete that ½ inch. Okay, got to escape out of edit mode a few times. Pick that ½ inch and delete it. And now I'm going to go redimension it from this little point right there between the two arcs and the edge line here. Make that a half, and that looks more like what it's written in the drawing. Okay, makes the bottom leg a little shorter and the top leg a little longer. Okay, looks more realistic. Finish sketch. Should extrude hopefully. Looks like it's 1/4 inch radius, so it's ½ inch wide. Okay, so if I would have made that instead of a center line a construction line, it would have just grabbed them both, just for future reference. Alright, the distance is 0.5. I had to pick both halves on mine because I made a center line instead of a construction line. Hit OK. Alright, now you can just fill out these 4 corners, add a circle, the right spot there, and this one is finished. Okay, I'm not going to do the video of that. You guys, I'm sure, can fill up these 4 corners here. I'll do it real quick just to show you. Fill it, and it's 0.25 instead of 0.5, 0.25, and it's these 4 corners. Let's just finish this one up. I think you can fill it right through the part in Inventor. Yep. Hit OK. So those are done. Now we can use those center points too to draw that circles and cut them through. So on this face, new sketch, I'd go ahead and project those two circle or arcs here so we can get a center point. Project geometry, that one and that one, and that gives us the center point. So now we can do our holes, and they are 0.26. This one's also 0.26. Okay. Okay, finish sketch and cut those through. Okay, that link is finished. I change it to a material. Just pick a material that you like, not critical. Okay, and save it. Okay, I'll try to do a video on the rest, but the rest of them aren't too bad. Like I said, this is just a bunch of rectangles extruded up. Make sure you taper that one, okay? When you draw this hole through it, make sure you draw the hole on a flat plane. Because if you pick this tapered line, this hole will go through at an angle. Don't want that, right? Okay. To get this little cutout in here, you just draw a bigger circle on it and cut it straight up. Okay. Nothing too fancy there. Don't forget about all the fillets. There's tons of fillets on it. Alright, that's the end of this video. I'll try to make another one, but you guys should be capable of the rest of these.